Do you know what I'm going to call our series? I don't think I've told you this yet.
No, you have not.
Have you told me? Do I know?
I don't know.
I've seen.
I'm going to call it Go Ask Your Mother.
Mother does always know right, as it says on your
Mother
cookie
does
cutters.
always know right. Mother does always know
Yes,
right. Where are
goes
you
away
from?
from Mother.
Our topic today is going to be education, which is quite a wide topic, I suppose. But I guess more in context of women's education. Has women's education changed? Like, just for being a woman, like, throughout the years? And also, was boys and girls' education different at the time?
Well, it certainly was when I was young, because it would be the boys that would have a career. The girls wouldn't be educated to have a career as such. They just go to school to learn what they needed to learn, and then they would leave school, go to work for a little while, maybe meet a man, get married, catch husband, and be a housewife and a mother.
And that was it?
Yes, and I mean before my time, they used to have big families, so the woman just didn't have a chance to go out to work.
But
it was harder work to run a home as well, wasn't it? You didn't have all the gadgets and everything.
Absolutely, yes. Coal fires, do all your own washing.
Yeah, to be fair, actually running a house, that was a job in itself, wasn't it?
And looking after a big family. Yes, when I got married, people were still in that mood as to, oh yes, when you get married, the woman stops working.
Even before you have children.
I was going to say,
just because you were married?
Just because you were married.
As soon as you were married, you stopped working.
I think it gradually got so that, once you started a family, then you would probably give up work. And then it got so that, well, when people have a family, they also, the woman also works. But women weren't really educated to have a career.
What were you educated in then?
The girls would do, even when I went to school, the girls did needlework and cookery, and the boys would have done woodwork.
Carpentry, yes,
really?
that's right.
Or engineering or something, but most schools did woodwork. So I wouldn't have had a chance to do woodwork, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to do it, but I actually don't want to.
No, what I mean is...
No, but you didn't have...
Because the boys did it, you wouldn't think, oh, well, I'm going to be the only girl and I'm going to go and do woodwork necessarily. Well, you might do. I might have done, actually, to be fair. I went to quite an academic school, but still, we did have to do needlework and cookery.
I did electronics, didn't I?
You did,
And me and Jess were the only two girls doing electronics.
Yeah.
At my school.
But why didn't more girls do electronics then?
It's because they didn't want to.
Yeah,
but
why is that then?
Yeah, but the electronics wasn't taught until that point. No. It's not like we'd been learning electronics all that time. It was a new thing. But you had to do a technology when you did your GCSEs. Yeah. And these technologies were either food or textiles or not woodwork, what's it called? Like DT, design tech.
Yeah.
Or electronics. I thought electronics was fun.
Before you went to school though, Mum, wasn't there a time when girls didn't even go to school?
Oh,
you didn't, like, your nan wouldn't have said anything about that or anything?
No, that's like Victorian time, surely.
My nan could just, from when she was young, could just remember Queen Victoria.
But did she go to school then, your nan?
Yes.
Because she must have been able to read and write, surely.
They did, yes, all of my family. Yeah.
yes, they could all read. Thank you.
No, it's surprising how many people probably couldn't.
So how old were you when you left school?
16 was I?
Oh, right. So you went right up to 16 then?
Well, I went to a grammar school for girls.
But in your grammar school, did it just end at 16?
Oh, yes.
There wasn't anything till 18 for you?
No.
You couldn't have done A-levels. Did they have A-levels then? I suppose they did.
I don't know. No.
You just ran off and got married, didn't you?
No, not quite.
Well, when I went to secondary school, I also went to a grammar school and had to pass 11 plus, and that was a girls-only school. And on a bit of an aside there, I wanted to go to a girls' school because boys were just so rubbish and annoying. But I don't actually think it's a very healthy thing in the long run.
Yeah.
To just be separated for all those years.
Well, you didn't want me and Sam to go to.
No, because of that. Because
school,
I don't think it helps you socially when you leave school that you've not mixed or you've not. When you go to work, you've got to work with men, haven't you?
By then they're like a different species.
Yeah.
And so are you probably, but it's not. It's not.
Not you personally.
Everyone. Generally, women, girls.
Well, thanks very much.
I don't think it's healthy at all to be...
Sorry.
Oh, you'd think we'd had a drink.
I know.
I don't think it's healthy at all to separate girls and boys at age 11.
No, I don't.
For all those years. Because I think maybe girls and boys think differently and work in a different way, but I think it's good to have that in the classroom and all learn in a different way. But I think it's socially, it's not healthy. And then when you do start mixing with boys or men or whatever, when you go to work or you go to university, it's, oh my God, it's those boys. What are they? Yeah, do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
It's all like a big thing.
For your school, so for Nan it was just like, oh, you just need to learn how to read and write and add up. And your school was much more academic, presuming that you were going to have a job at the end of it.
I can remember a teacher saying to me in a lesson, this was when we were quite a bit older, because I left at 16, so I'd probably say we were 15, and some girl had a boyfriend, and she said, oh, well, I might marry him or whatever. And the teacher saying, well, you have to choose between getting married and having a career.
Oh, yes.
And you can't do both. This was like in the 70s.
Well, yes, you see, this is it. It's
Yeah.
still a knock-on from...
I mean, you could have a job, but you couldn't
Have a career.
and put so much effort into a career if you're going to get married.
No.
And that was in a girls' grammar school in the 70s.
Because you'd
Not
assume that the grammar school, they were going to push
Yeah.
you. That's what I
Yeah.
would have thought.
None of my friends went to university straight from school.
No.
A couple of them worked for a while and then went back and did a teaching degree. And we had a sixth form, and I didn't stay until the sixth form. But as we were saying earlier, in those days you could go into jobs at different levels. You didn't have to have a degree to do everything. And most people who went to university went because they wanted a profession, like a teacher wanted to be a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Was there differences, do you think, in the amount of women or girls going to university as opposed to the boys? I suppose you don't know because you were in a girls' school.
Yeah. I don't know if Dad knows anybody who went to university from his school. I think he remembers it being a big thing if somebody got into university, and maybe I think he said the headmaster said, "Oh, these three boys are going to university." And
I would say in my day when the boys were leaving school, there were a lot more apprenticeships for boys.
Okay.
They used to go more into apprenticeships rather than go to the universities.
But jobs were more
and like
skilled, like labourers, like skilled labourers, manual labour kind of jobs.
Oh, there are a lot
Presumably
more of those
where you
now.
were as well, anyway.
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah.
But there were more labour-intensive jobs then.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger.
Yes, definitely.
Because they've closed all the factories and the mines and everything. Not
Yeah.
saying that you want to go down the mine, but you know what I mean. Those
But
kind of jobs.
I'd like the option to go down the mine.
Yeah. Lots of these industries don't exist anymore.
So I guess now you need to be more educated to do a different kind of job. Whereas the jobs you were doing before was more like, oh, I'll go and be a carpenter then. Or
Yeah, but
no.
even if you were a carpenter, you still had to be able to read and write and do maths. I mean, you had to have a basic education. And I think sometimes nowadays people have to be overqualified to get jobs because every job you see has to have a degree and it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of gone the other way, really. When you did do your options for your O-levels, you could, if you're good at languages, you could do an extra language.
All right.
But if you weren't, you had to do office practice. So really, I didn't do office practice.
Did you do a language then?
I did 3 languages, but I did
Did you?
Latin, but I dropped it. Because I got a bit, can't be bothered with this when I was about 15.
I'm too cool for Latin.
Yeah, too cool for Latin. When I went to work, and I was working in programming and IT, and before you had Word and all these things, you had to type documents physically on a typewriter.
Yeah.
And some of the men sometimes used to say to me, can you type, Jackie, can you type this for me? And I'd say, no, I can't type. So I was really glad that I'd not done office practice, because then you would have got put in this box.
In the typing pool.
Because you're a woman, you probably know how to type, because I'm a man and I don't. So can you type this for me? So I didn't get to go down that road where I did everybody's typing.
Yeah, it's probably quite
But
good.
then
really.
later on, when you got
You needed
keyboards
it.
and you
but
needed
then-
it right, I wish I'd learnt to type. But also,
But then
things
everyone
like
would have
office
typed.
practice would cover things like how you do a meeting at work.
Yeah.
When I went to work, somebody said something about an agenda, and I thought, what's an agenda? I don't know what they're talking about. Seriously. What does minutes mean? What on earth they're talking a foreign language? So really, I think everybody should have learned office practice.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just girls so that they could type all the stuff up for the men, which was what it was a bit. All secretaries and PAs were always women.
I know. Well, they still are now, though. Really.
They are.
Yeah. I don't. How do you know you're not aware?
No, I know. I have to put my spoke in.
Yes, they are.